This video is brought to you by the following. Links and codes down below if you want to support the channel. Also, you should go check out the merch store link down below. We just released some hats and they look really cool. Okay, bye. So if you are familiar with the channel, you may have seen my video on the Epiphone Special II Les Paul modification project, and you might have also seen both of my videos on the Harley Benton HB-35Plus, where in one of those videos I showed off the new modifications that I have made. So I thought for this video it would be fun to have these two guitars fight to the death. But by fight to the death, I mean I'm just gonna compare the two. If I wanted them to fight to the death, I would need like a Thunderdome arena, and I can't really afford that, so yeah. Anyway. Now, before we go on with this video, I need to be abundantly clear that I'm not telling you which one is my favorite. I'm not telling you which one is better. We are just doing this for fun. This whole comparison is just for fun. And I will also be doing this comparison based off of a grading system that I have made up. But before I go and explain the grading system, let's go through both guitars and we'll do a recap of both mods. So first off, we have the Epiphone Les Paul Special 2, Special II, whatever you want to call it. And what I did to this guitar to recap is the new pickups are the Hot Rodded Humbucker set from Seymour Duncan. For the neck, it is the Jazz neck. And for the bridge pickup, it is the Seymour Duncan JB. And going out to the nut, I did replace the nut with a black Graphtec Tusk XL nut. And turning the guitar around, you see that we have some Grover Roto Grip tuners. I've had this guitar for about a decade, like around 2012 or 2013. I pretty much grew up with this guitar, and I am very proud of the mods that I've done to this guitar. Very sentimental, I will say. And then we have the Harley Benton HB-35Plus. New pickups, these are the Pearly Gate pickups for those who have not seen the original modification video. Nothing new with the nut, it's the same stock nut, it's pretty nice. And then if you turn the guitar around, original tuner heads, because I really like the shape of the tuner heads, but new tuners. These are the Grover Mini Rotos. I bought this guitar mainly because I wanted to see what the hype was with Harley Benton in general as a company, because I've seen multiple YouTube videos where people have praised this company, and I gotta say, even with the stock parts, this thing is awesome. Even better with the new parts. I really enjoyed this guitar. Now, to go over how exactly we're gonna do this comparison, I have came up with a grading system in my nice little Star Wars Yoda notebook. So there will be 3 categories in this comparison. We will be doing playability, tuning stability, and of course tone. Now for playability and tuning stability, I'm going to give both of these guitars only 1 grade. Meanwhile, with the tone category, since there's 2 pickups and 3 positions, I will give a point to each position, each pickup, and then we will obviously calculate them all together. And also with the tone category, there will be 3 subcategories. We will be doing a clean demo, a crunch demo, and a more heavy demo. And with how I'm doing the points, if something is really good, it gets 1 point. If it's okay, then it gets 0.5 points. If I just don't like it at all, there will be obviously no point. If I did the calculations correctly, since I'm only grading both guitars once when it comes to both the tuning and playability categories, if they were to get 1 full point on both categories, that is a total of 2 points. And as for the tone category, as I said before, we're going to give a point to each pickup, each position. If they were both to get 1 point for every position on every subcategory, that would lead up to 9 points that they would have to get a perfect score. So in total, I will be grading both guitars out of 11 points. So that's pretty much a rundown of how I'm going to be doing this comparison, how I'm going to be doing the grading system. But before we go on with the comparison, I need to remind you guys that if you like seeing videos like this and you want to see more, definitely go down and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that when a new video comes up, you will be notified. Also, I have been more active on my Twitch lately. There is no committed schedule, but there will be a link down in the description if you want to go check it out. Definitely follow and ring the bell for that as well so that you are notified notified when I go live. Okay, so after that last bit I said, my camera died, so I had to go plug it in for a couple of hours. But we're back, and we're gonna start this comparison off with something simple, starting off with playability. Like, how did these guitars feel? Is the action good? Etc. And starting with the Les Paul, the action's not too bad. Like, I had to do a basic setup to both guitars before filming this, and so I adjusted the truss rod a little bit because the open A string, playing it open, there was a lot of buzz, but now I'm not hearing a lot of buzz when I play it. It feels fine in the hands. I mean, it could feel better, but for the current state it's in, it's not bad. It doesn't bother me. Not too much buzz. I can go up and down the fretboard easily. How it feels to play this, it's fine. I mean, the action's not bad. It's not amazing. Could be a little bit better, to be honest, but there's not a lot of buzzing like there was before. I fixed the majority of the buzzing, so I can't really complain on that part. Bending, not too bad. Yet again, these are kind of old strings. Meanwhile, with the Harley Benton HB-35Plus, I gotta say, I did not make a single adjustment to this. I didn't do anything to the action. I didn't have to adjust the truss rod. It feels and plays like a dream. There's like pretty much no buzzing at all. So overall on playability, both guitars they're passable. The Les Paul is okay at best, but the Harley Benton is a lot better when it comes to playability. It feels a lot smoother. I like it. So for the Les Paul Special II, we're gonna give it a 0.5, and with the HB-35, we are going to give it a whole point. Therefore, in this category, the Les Paul gets a 0.5 out of 1, and the Harley Benton gets a 1 out of 1. So the next category we have for both of these guitars is tuning stability. What I did for this category was, I took my stopwatch on my phone, I tuned both of my guitars, and on each guitar, I played at a decent medium velocity, not too hard, not too soft, until I could hear that the strings were getting out of tune, and then I would stop the watch. So first we're going to start off with the Harley Benton HB-35. So like I said, I took care of the intonation before filming this video, and I gotta say the intonation on the HB-35 is really nice. Like, it doesn't knock out of tune easily. After using the stopwatch and taking notes, the HB-35 took 1 minute and 35 milliseconds to get knocked out of tune. And the only string that was knocked out of tune after that 1 minute was the low E string. So yeah, for a minute, that's pretty good. Meanwhile, with the Les Paul Special 2 II, the low and high E strings were knocked out of tune, as well as the G string, in a total of 9.61 seconds. I know that guitar is supposed to be like the most budget-friendly thing coming out of Epiphone. Like, the parts aren't really that amazing, but man, 9 seconds? That's for half of the strings even. Even when I was adjusting the truss rod and messing with the intonation on the Les Paul, I could not keep all of the strings in decent tuning in under 10 seconds to save my life. I mean, it could be because of the hardware, but yeah, in total, for tuning, the HB-35 gets 1 out of 1 points, and the Les Paul Special gets no points. I just couldn't. Okay, so for the tone category, like I said, there's going to be 3 subcategories. There's going to be clean, crunch, and a more heavy tone. There's going to be a point per pickup, and then we will add them all up in the end. With that being said, here are the demos of both guitars. Enjoy. Alrighty, so starting with the clean settings, we're going to begin with the Les Paul. So I don't have a problem with the cleans on the Les Paul on the neck. I really do like the neck. It's not too bassy. It's not too dull sounding. It's like right in the middle. It's passable. It's a good clean tone. The middle position even not that bad. Very stratty almost. I kind of like it. And then you got the bridge pickup, and with how hot the pickup is, you got that bright bite in that pickup, almost crunchy. It sounds pretty good. So for each pickup, the Les Paul will get 1 point, meaning it gets 3 points from the clean setting alone. And then moving on to the HB-35, the neck on the HB-35 is so much better. It's a lot warmer. It's a lot fuller. It sounds really good. Lush could be the word that I'm looking for. The middle position of the HB-35 when it's clean is kind of like the Les Paul, except it shines a little bit more. It's a little bit more trebly. And then with the bridge pickup, it's a lot more full, similar bite, but it sounds so much better. I really like the cleans in that bridge pickup. So just like the Les Paul for cleans, the HB-35 pretty much gets a full point for each pickup, meaning 3 out of 3 for clean alone. Then we move on to the crunch setting, starting with the Les Paul. The middle position is kind of fuzzy. I'm not a huge fan of it. And the neck is kind of the same way, but it's got some nice, it's really nice when you play a solo. Other than that, I'm not a big fan of the chords. It's a little fuzzy on both neck and middle positions. The bridge, however, is pretty good. It's very bitey, very gainy. It's a very hot pickup. It's pretty good. So for the neck, I'm giving it a 0.5 because it's a little bit better than the middle position, but not that much. I wasn't a big fan of how fuzzy the middle position was, so I'm not giving the middle a point for that at all. And the bridge gets a whole point because the bridge is pretty good. Now, as for the HB-35, the neck, a lot better than the Les Paul's necks when it comes to crunch tones. It's not bad at all. I can't complain. It's a nice neck crunch tone. The middle position, pretty much like the middle position of the Les Paul, except it's not as fuzzy and it's got more grit. And it sounds, I think it sounds better. And then with the bridge pickup, it sounds a lot more fuller than the Les Paul's bridge pickup. And it's more in your face. It's really nice. Pretty gainy. I would say a lot more gainy than even the JB on the Les Paul. So yeah, for the Les Paul on crunch, we got 0.5 points for the neck, no points for the middle, 1 entire point for the bridge, and for the HB-35, it's 1 point for each pickup. They're all pretty good. So that means for crunch settings, the Les Paul gets 1.5 points out of 3, and the HB-35 gets 3 out of 3 points. Okay, so the camera once again died, and I'm kind of in a hurry to get this video out, so the rest of this video will be entirely audio, but I will put some intriguing stuff on screen. Starting with the Les Paul Special 2, just like with the crunch settings, it's got nice solos, but the chords are meh to me. Like, they're not bad, they're not great. The middle position sounds way better on this setting than it did on the crunch, in my opinion. And with the bridge pickup, this is exactly what the JB was made for. It's very thrashy, very punchy. It's really, really nice. And with the HB-35, there's a lot more bite on the net pickup than there was on the crunch settings. The middle position is fuzzy, but it's tolerable. And the bridge pickup is a lot more full and thrashy than the Les Paul's bridge pickup on this setting. It is insanely amazing. But as for points, the neck pickup in the Les Paul gets half a point, the middle position gets half a point, and the bridge pickup gets a full point. Meanwhile, on the HB-35, the neck gets a full point, the middle position gets half a point, and the bridge pickup gets a full point. Which means that on the heavy tone, the Les Paul gets 2 points, and the HB-35 barely beats the Les Paul with a 2.5. Which means, in total for the tone category, the Les Paul gets a 6.5 out of 9, and the HB-35 gets an 8.5 out of 9. In wrapping up this test, the total scores for all categories goes as follows. The Les Paul gets a 7 out of 11, and the HB-35 wins with a whopping 10.5 out of 11, almost a perfect score. But yeah, I want to stress this again. I do not prefer one over the other. I love both of them for what they offer, sound wise, playability wise. There is not really a true winner. I was just doing this test for fun, but I want to know what y'all think. Which guitar did you prefer for which setting? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know like which guitar did you prefer in general. Hopefully everyone will be open-minded in the comments down below. I hope you are having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night depending on when you're watching this, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.